What's going on, everybody? This is your boy King Gabe here, and here with we're here to talk about Star Striker 3 and 4. Sorry, already talked about 1 and 2. So now we're here with issue number 3 and 4. Yes, continuing the Let's Talk there. Yeah, going through this, and as of recording this, I have just recently finished. The edits, my final edits of going through the rough draft for Yumeko novel number 3. So only thing I got left to do with that is to get the pictures once they've because Big Sis Case, she's still working with the coloring it. Yeah, kind of, like I say, they say great art does take time. So, I know originally I was planning to have this where I could have you guys be able to order the books before Halloween got here. But it's still gonna be out. It's still gonna be available before Halloween. So, but yeah, it'll probably be like November when you put your orders in. It'll probably like arriving in November, something like that. But yeah, it will be released. I guess you could say Halloween might end up being the release date of when they become available. Never know. But they always say good art does take time. And like I say, so yeah, and of course, like as I mentioned before, yeah, after number 3 is completed, I will have a break from writing any more Yumeko stories. Start back next week. Matter of fact, also found out that my wife Christina, Queen Tina, she just finished the rough draft for her Bubble Eater novel. So probably at some point before this year is over, we'll take a look at that. And next year, as soon as next year gets here, before I start working on Yumeko novel number 4 next year, we're gonna get her the rough draft for her first Bubble Eater novel edited and everything and put out, and then after her first novel is out, then Yumeko novel number 4 will be the next thing to work on and get out. So, yep. So that's how it's gonna be. However, before next year gets here, fan fictions. Superman and Supergirl Reign of Justice, possibly another fan fiction might be in the works. It'll be like the first story of the fan fiction Superman and Supergirl, and possibly the first one of another one, depending on what kind of time I have, because I'll also be celebrating the holidays and stuff. So yeah, just all depends. But I definitely plan for Superman and Supergirl to get his first fan fiction story out. As for the other fan fiction, originally it was going to be called The Hulks, but it's actually going to be called Hulkara now. More focused on Hulk and She-Hulk's daughter, Hulkara. But yeah, definitely more on that when I actually start working on it, much like Superman and Supergirl, as well as some other fan fiction ideas that will come later in the future. So, it's the heads up on what's coming up, as well as also holiday craze. So with that said, before we go into talking about these 2 books, make sure you definitely like, share, subscribe. Get us a super thanks, special chat, super thanks. Share it all with your friends and stuff. As well as also definitely get our available books, including the ones we're about to talk about here, along with our other books, as well as and not to mention the Yumeko books, and as well as the 3rd one when it comes out by Halloween. Be ready to get that, and also definitely support us on that Patreon, just like your boy Everyday Supreme, whose likeness is being used for the Yumeko version of Star Striker that's coming out. Big Sis Casey, who, like I mentioned before, is still working on the coloring. She should have that done soon. And also, Iceman Universe Go! Iceman Universe Go! For his both me and him supporting each other on Patreon. Yep. So yeah. So like I say, so supporting one another. Especially especially checking out his content as well. At the moment, his Hey Arnold, and he's still doing One Piece and Naruto. So yeah, definitely check that out. Become a patron so I can see the full length versions of those reactions on his channel. And also, whether you're like I say, whether you're a Patreon or not at the moment, we definitely would like if you do. But even if you're not a Patreon, you can definitely hang out with us on Facebook and Discord, and we can sell each other some stuff on the Macari app. Like I say, got some. Probably gonna be adding some once the once the Yumeko novel #3 book is out, introducing its version of Star Striker. I'm gonna probably add some more stuff to my Macari sales thing, so be on the lookout for that there, along with the stuff I already have up there. And also, get you an account with Macari so you can sell some stuff and get you some little extra ka-ching. And to you, hey, need a little extra spending dough. Yeah, go right ahead, sign up today. Yep. So that's, like I say, that's kind of a way of support going around back and forth, not just one way. So just like how me and Iceman supporting each other on Patreon. So yeah. So. Yep. So now let's dive right in to talking about Star Strikers 3 and 4. And you'll notice, I'll let you know why this is, but you'll notice cover animations kind of look a little different between the two. I'll get to that in a second there, but let's start with 3. As Deadpool say, superhero landing. This is gonna do superhero landing. Ooh, it's gotta be hard on your knees. And of course, the back of it, him saving Angela. Pretty good pose there. It's even in the comic itself. With help from Ryan, Sheila, and Mimi, Star Striker rushes to save the people. That was mentioned in book #2, of course, issue 2. Star Striker, including Angela and her parents at the Channel 9 studios, from the deadly villain known as AJ the Bastard Shot. Find out what happened, and after that, continue the adventure with issue #4. So, yeah, we will be doing that. so of course, this is a pretty good little picture there, almost like there's like they're about to cheer for a sport team there. Star Striker, cheer for the Saints, because EJ the Supreme cheers for the Saints. We're about to get it crunk. We're about to get it crunk up in here. We're about to get it crunk up in here. Oh boy! Now I'm probably gonna have some Cowboy and other football team fans probably all of a sudden pop up in the room and start trying to jump, man. It's like, okay. So apparently this book's apparently it starts up right where the second book left off. The crooks AJ and the lackeys, Howski and Monty, they're waiting for Star Striker. Now they said they gave him an hour to show up, but apparently 30 minutes later, yeah, they're like, this is boring, babe. I say we show everybody that we really mean business and shoot the girl right now. So just as they're about to do that, this happens to their guns there. It's attracted to this magnet that disintegrates them. It's a super magnet that Bryant built there. Hey, Star Striker shows up, of course, surprising them. Hey, and AJ's like, you got some guts to show up here, kid. Hey, so of course they go at each other, as you see here. Hey, don't you know a kid always wins against a couple of knuckleheads? Of course, they actually end up getting the upper hand on Star Striker because of House Money and Gee's last encounter with him. Sort of picked up on some of his techniques and stuff. And they even go to the point where they try to use the magnet against Star by throwing it at him. throwing him and the magnet at him. However, there's something that even they don't know about. Since Brian's the one that invented it, he's able to make the magnet shrink where Star Striker can just catch it and not run into it and give AJ a surprise kick. So, yep, they didn't see that coming. Bet you weren't expecting that, Mr. AJ the Master Shot. Or maybe you should be called Master A Joke. You see the superhero landing here with that little speech there. Yeah. So, yeah, like they say, Brian and Sheila, Brian's really impressed by this there. Of course, the magnet also has a second effect where it activates tasers to, yeah, kind of shock Monty and Gee. House tries to make a surprise attack on Star Striker, but Angela joins in during all this and manages to throw a stool at House there. Yeah, kind of. Ow. Looks like the second time House has gotten hit in this series there. And so, of course, there's a moment between Star Striker and Angela. In that moment, he accidentally says her name, and she's like, "Wait a second, how do you know my name?" I'm thinking, sorry about that, folks. Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, but then of course there's a weapon that AJ doesn't pull out that has some serious firepower there out of nowhere. Now this actually something like this happens in Yumeko novel number 3. Hey, Star manages to get Angela away from the blast, even doing a little Aladdin reference. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Hey, then, yes, as you can see there. Yeah, just like it's like with Aladdin there. So, but apparently that's not going to be enough. And it ends up being continued into book number 4. That's another reason why I'm also going to be going through that one. And there's a bit of fourth wall breaking after that there, but yeah. Now some of the stuff in the fourth wall breaking, like I say, at that time, there's a mention of Star Striker's new costume and a series that I was going to do called The Enforcers, but apparently I didn't get to it there because then other ideas started coming to me at the time after the 6th issue of Star Striker. So yeah, the universe kind of got reset again there. But yeah. But yeah, that's like I say, yeah, definitely when you'll be able to see it once you get a copy of that book. And of course the 4th book. Now, as for the animation here, let me see if I can, this no, Antonio Vance had did this 4th cover, just this one. Originally, now here's a bit of a backstory with the first 3 books leading into this one and why this is the way it is. The first 3 books was originally going to be one big book. It was almost going to be like a movie, like the equivalent of a movie wrote into a book. It was gonna be, and it was gonna be like just one big Star Striker heroic dream begins, and then there was going to be other books after that. The plan was that it was gonna be like the MCU, gonna be like a cinematic universe but with books. There was gonna be Star Striker. Then there was gonna be a big book with introducing Sword Girl, the samurai that Casey came up with, which is in Yumeko, by the way. But yeah, introduced like a big backstory, origin of her. Then I think there was going to be another Star Striker that would also introduce Brian becoming Target. and then also, I want to say Bubblino. She was going to be a part of this universe that had just started. Like I say, it was going to be like an MCU thing. But then what happened eventually? What happened? I think that's kind of where Angela, the one who came up with the character that's going to be introduced in this fourth book, leading into book 5. That's where she started to mention about the character she came up with, Monet, to become who would be known as Diva Slay. Yeah, so she started mentioning that, and then there was also some stuff going on with Antonio, the one who did the cover. Him and his mentor. I'm not gonna say his name, but his mentor was sort of suggesting some things to me and him. Now, some things he mentioned weren't not so bad. Like when I was writing Heroes of Dreams, I will say there was the whole thing of, well, who is the main focus character. So that's kind of where the birth of the Star Striker comic started, and then like I say, the MCU thought came in. But then one thing Antonio was to like do something not quite like this, do something original. Sort of like people say DC needs to stop copying Marvel. So I mean, and like I say, it is similarities of the MCU and a lot of different things that are done, but it can, and it's not, you can use stuff similar to other previous, like inspiration, but you still got to make things your own. You can't, it can't be like a cut and paste, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this and this and that, just like that. So, so there were some useful bits of advice that were given there. And then so it was a mix between Angela mentioning about Monet during me writing book number 3, which, like I say, originally was going to be one big book. Star Trek was going to stop these guys, and that was going to be like his big debut. That pretty much like the Iron Man movie. I am Iron Man. So yeah, pretty much like that. Starting this cinematic universe there. But like I say, Angela mentioned about Monet. She wanted to, now she wasn't forcing me to put the character in. Wasn't nothing like that. But it was a suggestion from her, and because the fact that Angela, that I had that I had made based Angela off of Angela, and upon her knowing that and reading the first issue. And I think I think it was actually no, I take that back. Her suggestion of Diva Slate actually came after I split the idea of a big Star Striker book into smaller books. But actually, it was more so from Antonio and his mentor, because like I say, there was a whole thing of don't copy the MCU, and also the fact of, okay, if this comes out as like one big book, I started thinking like, how how it would sell and stuff like that, especially being the first time this debuted. So that's when I took what I had so far, and book 1 and 2 came out, and then I added a little bit more to make book 3. So yeah, then upon that completion, developing book number 3, Angela got the first book, and he was like, wow, this is really impressive. Came up with Diva Slay, aka Monet Chanel Pierre, and that's what so the fourth, so we said like, okay, well, we're going to introduce Monet in the 4th book here, and leading into 5 and 6 he'll become Diva Slay. So as with the whole thing with Antonio, after the first 3 books, there was a plan to have his mentor illustrate our stuff. He was already both him and his mentor were already collabing stuff with their creations, with some stuff they had did. One of Antonio's creation and one of his mentors created. They were They were doing. They were had collabs going on. So his mentor was like, well, actually, he suggested that since Antonio, me and him were both in the same vicinity, and he was okay, he's right. Gabe, he's right there. Y'all hang out together. Maybe let him. You come up with the story and just let him illustrate your book. I didn't now honestly at that moment, because like I say, I had Photoshop. I was able to draw my pictures and stuff, and I was kind of thinking like this, like, really, why? And because he was kind of persuasive with it. Like I say, some things, yeah, he did mention that were useful, don't get me wrong, but there were some things, I'm not going to say that they wouldn't be useful, but there are some things that may not work for everybody like they would work for another person. So there's a whole thing of using your judgment, and kind of because of how their approach was. Now you're probably saying, well, Gabe, you could have just still said no, but yeah, like I say, that's one thing I really been working on. Kind of using a good judgment of, okay, I could go with that idea. Okay, you have a good idea, but I don't think that will really work for what I'm trying to get. So yeah, I've been really working on that there lately. Of really using that. Just sort of like I tell people when they ask me about different produce. Like, is this look? Well, how you pick this out? Does this look good? All I tell them is some of them are cool with it. Some of them kind of get an attitude when I say it, and some of them laugh for some reason. I don't know why. But the thing I tell them, regardless of their reaction, is you got to use your own judgment, because that's all it is. They be talking about, well, if you thump it or something like that, that's still, that's fine. You could, if you want to thump it and make a drum out of it, be my guest, but that's still using your judgment. This is your way of thinking. This is your judgment. So that's all it is. Regardless of what method you do, you're using your judgment. That's the thing. So same with, like I say, with the story thing. To my story writers, yeah, like I say, I'm not saying to reject other people's advice. Not advice. Only thing I'm telling you, listen to the advice first, and then determine whether this is think about what you want with the vision of your story. If with the vision of your story first, and think if the advice that someone's giving you is going to be the best thing for your vision. Yeah, so it may, because like I say, it may be and it may not, but you got it. But like I say, because everybody has a different vision and a different mode of thinking, so yeah, you gotta. That's the only thing I'm saying. And if it works with your vision, all good and well. Hey, let's do it. But if it doesn't, still all good and well. You don't be mean to them. Hey, I appreciate your advice, but I kind of got a different vision. But I definitely appreciate your advice. Thank you for for letting me know what you thought about it, and what your thoughts and what you thought and everything. So yeah, like I say, all be cool and everything. No biggie. So that's all. That's all it is. That's all it is there. But like I say, at that point, yeah, when I was making these, yeah, I didn't quite. Yeah, sometimes it do be hard to say no to some people at certain time, depending on like who they are and how. And I guess a lot of cases how your connection is with them. Like I say, it's not. Like I said, I'm just speaking a little truth, because I'm pretty. Like I say, I've went through this, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has went through this. So, like I said, so the thing was, so his mentor was mentioning, hey, why don't, like I say, have Antonio do your illustrations, and you come up with the story. It'll make things a lot easier for you, Gabe. That would be a good idea, but like I say, the guy, nothing comes for free. And yeah, you might say, well, he's a friend of yours, but I mean, even friends got to make a living. I'm just saying. It's not, and it's not saying that they were. I'm not saying that they were trying to rip me off, but nothing like that. I mean, because he's a really good artist. I mean, look at that right there. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's not saying that he ripped off, but good art does take time, and as Mr. Krabs say, time is money. Like I say, even like I say now, I know I mentioned earlier that Casey's doing a few things for the coloring of the picture. She didn't. She like I say that I sketched, but she's coloring it a little bit. But even that still takes time. So yeah, time. Even just coloring it, trying to make it right and everything. So yeah, like I say, but it's not. But the thing is, it's only like a few pictures. So like I say, if Case was having to do this whole comic, as I'm about to talk about, that probably would have took it. It takes a while to make even for myself. Took a while to make these, even with Photoshop for myself, to get them right, speech bubbles, check the spelling and all that. So yeah, it would have took a while. Like I say, that's what. But what happened was, he got halfway through illustrating the fourth. I think he had just started in the fourth book. Like he got this cover, back and front, and he was doing a few things. He had started a few things, but then something had came up on my end, where I wasn't able. I actually, just hear me out. Something came up where I wasn't going to be able to keep up with the payments for this, like I thought I would, and he, because I think we had something was being done to our house, and yeah, it was going to take quite a bit of money to get it done. So there was some work. Had some work to be done to the house at that very moment. You never know when things like that happen. So yeah, it took quite a bit of money for that. So what I did, so I had paid him, like, I guess you could say, like a down payment to start. So what he did, he was real cool about it. So what he did, since he did get something out of it, he said, well, I tell you what, okay, you can go and do your thing with the comic and everything. Do your, I'll illustrate this. But since you did give me a starting fee, as a bit of something, so you won't walk away empty-handed, I'm going to give you a cover and I'm going to give you some covers there. So yeah, like I said, I did get, because he actually had that done already. So yeah, like I say, it wasn't going to let it go to waste. So that's how you got the cover like you got here. Like I say, it was gonna be a different artist, but like I say, wasn't really in a position to fully commit to doing that there. So yeah, like I say, but like I say, and right at the moment, he's probably working on other things, especially with his mentor and everything. So yeah, I would imagine even if we did go through with that, it might would have still ended at some point because of like I mentioned, when he moved away from Shreveport and is doing into other things right now. Yeah, it would have kind of made it hard for him to, like, okay, I'm still doing Star Striker comic or whatever comic Gabe is doing now. So yeah, that kind of would have, that would have been quite a lot, especially from out of town and everything. So yeah, like I say, so. But they say everything happened for a reason. But like I say, at least we did get a little taste of what he was able to do there. So in the it took a moment to explain that. Star Black. So the first three books, book one, issue 1, 2, and 3, were the Strike of the Star, part 1, 2, and 3. I could have put this as part 4, but I decided to label it Star Blast because Star Striker gets his star powers in this book. Just as the crooks are about to fire on him, and you can see how still has that lump from when Angela hit him with the stool. Star starts to get his powers there. He start charging up, and you get the Star Blast. Oh boy. Yep. Everybody's amazed at this. They're like, whoa. And there's a little moment between Star Striker and Angela. Him kind of is a little hi. However, though, it's kind of interrupted when, of course, that weapon that AJ introduced tries to take out Star Striker, but of course, that's not going to keep our hero down with his newfound powers. Yep. And then of course this happened. They get ready to face off with one another, and AJ's weapon suddenly just magically makes armor appear. Oh boy. Now, probably you think AJ would have led with that there, you think. So they go at each other. Star Blast, big armored crab dude, as one of the Ninja Turtles would describe it. Big armored crab dude. and with a power struggle, of course, Star Striker ends up winning the battle there, roasting AJ literally. Well, mostly his armor, but yeah. And then after that, there's an introduction of Monet, the character that Angela suggested to bring into the series. We come to her house, and there she is right there, dressed in pink, with her babysitter Candace. Babysitter got a bit of a female Squidward kind of thing going. Yeah, the whole grumpy attitude thing there. Yep. They hear about Star Striker on TV, and Monet's like, wow, I can imagine myself with Star Striker like his partner. And apparently Candace doesn't like this, and she's upset about the whole thing with Star Striker for some reason, which we'll find out in the other two books. And of course, Monet is wondering who Star Striker is, which we also find out at the very end, leading into the next book. So, yep. So that and there's even an image of what my business cards back then looked like. Because at first, Star Striker was kind of the central Star Striker kind of for the comic universe. Yeah, Star Striker sort of started things off. When I first got that Photoshop, and he sort of started things off with Heroes of Dreams as well. So, because at that time between Heroes of Dream and the Star Trek comic series, a lot of my attention during those creations were superhero based there. So, like I say, other things would come about later, but at that very moment, it was superhero based. And there's even an ad for the Bubblina comic series that was soon to come. At that point, and also a new picture of Jesus there. About that picture, though, I may have explained it in the last book, but much like the one where I think, because I know the last one was colored in colored pencil, and now this one was done with Photoshop. This is actually a representation of when I accepted Christ. I was 5 years old when I accepted Christ and got baptized. So that's what that's to represent. It's like 5-year-old me on Jesus' shoulders there, which is pretty cool there. I had a dream once that I actually saw Jesus in person, or at least what I thought Jesus looked like in the dream. I had been watching like the Greatest Adventures stories from the Bible series, and of course, a lot of us in series like that and a whole lot of other stuff and pictures and stuff, we see they always animate Jesus as, Caucasian or something similar to that. And, people complain about it like, he's not that race. No, he's this race and that race. You know, now some people have said that Jesus is probably originally African American skin tone. Um, I mean, now what skin tone Jesus really may have been, um, not is not completely certain. But one thing about it, and like I say, everybody has a speculation of it. But the thing that I focus that my focus on and should be of everybody else, not the rate. His skin tone is not so much the important thing. It's what he came and done for us. So if we remember what he's done for us and what the Word of God says about his Son Jesus, and came, saved us, he's our salvation. As long as we know that, that's all we need. Hey, like I say, how his skin looks in this film and that film and stuff like that. As long as we know the truth about him, that's the important part. Yeah. So more so than the race. So like I say, you can speculate, but don't let it take the place of what we do know is true about him. So, but yeah, there was that, and then like I say, so yeah, around that same time, yeah, Christina took over the character Bubblina and decided to create a whole new universe from her that would actually be separate from what Star Striker had going on. An interesting thing about that little turn of event, that's the little ad right there. An interesting thing about that is that I had someone on Facebook ask me a question about Star Striker. They say, do you write the story or does he tell you what to write? That was something to think about. You ever create a character that felt like the character was telling you what to write? Well, so I kind of felt like maybe he had a point, because the fact that Star Striker was more attracted with Angela than he was Bubblina in Heroes of Dreams. Yeah, he like I say, I mean, I know, Star Striker was my creation, Bubblina was her. But that didn't necessarily mean that the characters had to be like completely like. It didn't mean they had to be a thing just like us. So yeah, they could have. Yeah, there's ways they could have their own identities different from us there. And Star being with Angela was one of them. Bubblina. One reason why Bubblina went off into her own universe at this point, where Christina started her Bubblina series, which you'll probably hear about that in the future. From her, is because a lot of the stuff, which I might talk about this later, but a lot of the stuff that happened in Heroes of Dreams with Bubblina, there was so much going on Bubblina's end in Heroes of Dream, along with the other characters and stuff like that. It started to get a bit overloaded there. It almost felt like Bubblina should be in her own thing at a certain point. So yeah, there was kind of that going on. So yeah, that pretty much was that's pretty much Star Trek 3 and 4. Pretty much what's going on there. And like I say, so next video we will be talking about 5 and 6. Also, I do apologize if maybe it wasn't I don't know. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you hadn't noticed. But if you did, if you noticed, like maybe sounding a little funny, or maybe my excuse me, like that, sounding a little funny. Yeah. Before I kind of had been been feeling a little down for a few days before making this video. Matter of fact, I was really wanting to go to church there just this past Sunday, but apparently darn ailments got in my way, because I was all set to go. I was gonna get my hair, which I guess I still got to get that this week. I ended up getting some I felt like I was it was Saturday when it started, like that Saturday afternoon leading into the night. I started getting like shivers. I also felt like I was burning up, and it felt like, and then my body was hurting, like almost like someone had beat me up or something. They made it kind of hard for me to sleep Saturday night. So I was so I sort of much as I had wanted to, I kind of stayed up, and yeah, that also kind of kept me from getting my haircut because, like I say, I wasn't just wasn't feeling up because, like I say, Christina, she usually cuts my hair, and then I go get it washed and everything. But yeah, it was there was no way I was gonna be able to. I mean, I could have still got that done, but yeah, it would have been a little difficult with with the stuff I was feeling that night, especially it just started and everything. But thank God I was able to, I did take a few things, but I was able to sleep it off. Got a little extra sleep that Sunday morning, right before watching the church live stream and everything. Like I said, I just was at that very moment. I was not in condition to be getting out. So but yeah, thank God I was able to kind of sleep it off. And at least that kind of got rid of the pains and the shivers and the burnings. But yeah, this now only thing I'm trying to get rid of is this annoying cough. It's just it's more some symptoms are here, but it's now at the moment. I'm all good, but it's more of an annoyance there. It's just like could somebody get this out? It's annoying me. Yeah. So but yeah, that's what. So yeah, like I say, that may be if like I say, if I sound funny, that's probably why. But like I say, it's like I say, the worst of it is out. Thank God. So it's just a matter of they always say when you have symptoms like that cough is usually the last thing to go. It kind of lingers for a while before it finally goes away. So so Robitussin and tea should knock that on out there. so other than that, like what y'all heard, definitely like, share, subscribe. Definitely support us on. Oh yeah, like, share, subscribe. Super special thanks, super chat. Get some of our available books, including the ones we just talked about here in this video. Definitely be on the lookout for the third Yumeko book be coming out shortly. Get the first two novels of that, and also support us on that Patreon, just like your boy All Supreme, Big Sis Casey, and the Iceman Universe. Go Iceman Universe, go! Yep, do all that, and definitely make sure, and also definitely support us on that McCary app. Also, support us. Support us on Patreon. Hang out with us on the Discord, or Facebook. Either one will do. Facebook or Discord. And also definitely sell some stuff on the McCary app and check out what I got on there. And we will see y'all in the next video, which possibly will either be 5 or 6 or some toy reviews, or who knows what else it could be. So. Possibly 5 or 6 at some point soon. Especially since Star Striker's being got his new thing, his new introduction in Yumeko 3. That's kind of the point of going through the Star Striker issues first. So but until then, see y'all in the next video. You take care, everybody.